full speed.
I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine.
Talk to you later, huh?
Thoughts obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I gotta go.
Today we talk everything about GoPro accessory I have used, so you don't need to waste money on some of them. Let's start with cage. This kind of rubber cage, I see no usage of that because it's blocked the battery. You cannot pull the battery out with this, and it doesn't have feet by itself, so if you crash your GoPro, still the foot might be damaged. While for this cage, obviously you can see there is damage, so it protects GoPro better and it also has its own feet. The downside is to put it inside you need, this is kind of cool, but here you need to put a screw just to hold the GoPro tight, so it takes some time. The battery can still be accessed, and metal cage also help to release some heat, so I reckon if you want to protect your GoPro, this one is the way to go. And the last cage, so the battery is actually at this side, it's complicated to remove the battery. The cage also doesn't have feet. This feet is from GoPro. That means if you want to change the battery, remove this knot, then open it from this side. That's it. With a third party. Goes in, one inside, and close. And as you might see here, it has an angle, so you can put something to fix it. The other side is blocked, so it's kind of you can only use this way. The only reason I use GoPro is because of the external mic. This actual adapter allows you to connect the external mic from without the media mode, but you also need to open the door of the battery, and the adapter's price is also not cheap, but the advantage is you can basically use it on any GoPro. For media mode, different GoPro may need different mode, so that's the thing you need to consider. And there is actually only one way you can skip the external microphone, which is you can have some external recorder to record your voice, and later when you edit the video you can synchronize it. But the problem is if you just have one long video or several long video and then you synchronize the audio, it won't be complicated. But let's say you are making video, you are constantly making the start record, stop record, record again, and in that case you have lot of videos to synchronize with the audio. That will be a pain. That's why I'm still using this kind of stuff. And another problem of the media mode is when you use mode, the device is no longer waterproof. It's still water resistant, but no longer waterproof. So GoPro 9 and 10, they support 255GB TF card. But I would recommend you to buy a 128GB because 128GB TF card already allows you to record at least 2 hours and 20 minutes at the highest resolution and bit rate. And one battery may last around 40 minutes to 1 hour, so I would recommend you to have at least 2 spare batteries because the one in camera cannot always be 100% full, so have 2 extra might be helpful. At least you will have somewhere around a 2 hour or 3 hour record. I used the original one and also the third party telesim. Not bad. I mean, on GoPro 9 it works pretty well. On GoPro 10 it can be used, but sometimes it just displays the wrong percentage. Regarding the charging case, although I prefer the original one because it's much cooler to the Telesin or other brand. The Telesin even have like full cover cage. That's quite cool. But when you check the LED lights indicator, obviously this one is huge advantage. I mean, at least for me. Colorful charging and colorful full charged. And for our dear GoPro, sorry, it's really difficult for me to understand it. And now let's talk about the usage. If you want to do some vlog style, you can get a similar one or just 20 or 30 yuan. This is pretty cool. It can be extended quite long and shape different angle. It has little tripod thing, but make sure do not use the tripod like this fully extended because almost 99% it will fall. But be honest, you don't have to use this stuff because let me show you. I'm now grabbing the GoPro itself, extended using the linear lens. I suppose. Let me check the front screen. Yeah, it's quite wide. So if with this kind of stuff, actually I have it here, much wider, but I don't see that is necessary. However, sometimes when you are sitting in the car, you want to extend it to some different angle, or maybe you want to make some type of B-roll. You can use this kind of stuff to extend the lens. Then it's useful and it's not expensive. I don't recommend you to buy the original one because this type is actually quite thin, and although you can buy it around 20 to 300 or 400 for the newer version, it's no way close to this one PGY. The original one costs somewhere around $150 US, but right now for the second hand I bought this one less than $80. So I definitely recommend this type of tripod. The only downside is the height. This can be extended very long. So what about this kind of tripod? Well, it actually depends. If you need a higher height, this one is obviously needed. As you know, I ride a motorcycle, so now let's talk about the mounts you might need to be used. So to put it simple, there's two kinds of mount. One is the flat surface, one is curved. For the helmet, maybe you need some curved one, and also on the motorcycle. So the curved one can be used on some curved surface, and the flat one obviously is for the flat surface. So after the mount, you might need some kind of this knob to connect it together to shape different shape. Where there is plastic one, it has longer one, shorter one, and also some will have different direction, and the metal one. I bought the metal one because I thought it might be tougher. Yeah, it's tougher, but also heavier. I didn't see much purpose for using this kind of metal one. And there is one very special type, which is the ear type. So the ear type make everything so simple. Like this one is for the helmet, right? So as you can see, with the air type thing, you just need a very small one, then you can connect the GoPro on the top. If you don't have this kind of air type, you have to form one by yourself. The benefit is you can change the direction a little bit if you need, but the downside is you need to add extra, like this pin. It's also heavy, and you need a lot of them. I also bought this longer metal one, but I don't think it's a good investment because it's very difficult to lock it because the metal obviously is tough, unlike the plastic one. It's easy to bend. Easy to bend means it's easy to fix tight. And this one on the mirror is quite awesome. It can be fixed on this narrow part, but if you remove the rubber part, it can also hold on larger part. This one is from PGY Tech, but you can also buy from Teleson. I think it's one time cheaper. This one is for suction. You can, let me just show you. You can just hook it anywhere and put your GoPro. As you can see, it's very powerful. This is the ball head, so you can be very creative. Cool, huh? And also if you lock it on top, you can get a special angle. Quite creative, huh? Although I gotta be honest, I don't use it very often. I bought this one because I want to install it on vehicle, but right now I ride motorcycle mainly, so maybe next time. And another thing I want to mention is this lock is just so brilliant. Just insert it and then rotate, lock. Unlike this kind of stuff, you need to rotate. And I also bought this kind of special pin. It has longer one, shorter one. This one is metal. I just found it easier to work, compare this kind of stuff. Actually, I bought this kind of shorter, smaller one, and it's just terrible because it's unable to lock it. It always gets loose. I think you have to have this kind of longer one and better quality so it can lock. And another thing I broke was the rotation time lapse. Actually, it's just a timer. You can just put your GoPro on it and start shooting time lapse. It will definitely create some interesting look. The downside is the direction is fixed and the timer is also fixed. The good side is it's cheap. It only costs somewhere around 20-30 yuan. And if you want to go expensive, you can also buy $30 version. You can rotate at different speed, a different direction, but it depends if you need it or not. Basically, that is what I'm using. So I think I just need one extra, which can be used as clamp. So I can clamp it somewhere because the one in motorcycle, you have to lock it from front. And this one, it's designed to hook on your clothes. I never used it, but I consider this can be used in another occasion, like when I was doing the boat thing. If I have this one, it may provide a better angle because before I was just use this kind of stuff. I stick it on the boat, hoping it will not drop, and it did. Luckily, I already anticipated it. Maybe try this one. So that's it for me today. I'll see you next one. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment below. See you.